Welcome everyone to another top 10. I'm Old School Gamer 1971. Millie, Lloyd, everyone, hope you're all having a great day. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please like, comment and share. Check out my channel and subscribe, so it helps the channel grow and puts a big old smile on this old face. Today's top 10 is DLC 2020. I remember a time when DLC was something new, when it didn't seem like every AAA title had a season pass. Even some indie titles have season passes nowadays. There are those who believe that DLC is the devil's work, that it has no place in gaming. Others believe that it adds to the overall game, that it extends the life of a game, maybe even taking it in a whole new direction. I was in the former camp, but am now a convert. For some developers such as Ubisoft, EA and Activision, they are just extending the game beyond its shelf life. Sometimes I'm not ready to leave a world behind, so this means I do not have to. Now I look to see if a game has DLC before the purchase. I try to get the gold editions of the Ubisoft games or Game of the Year editions further down the line. So let's raise a glass to the best of DLC for the PlayStation 4. And so we start with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. It's an RPG developed by CD Projekt Red and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2016. This game was a large enough game as it was. Then they added DLC. DLC that is larger than most games themselves. The world looks amazing and somehow the DLC looks even better. One of the games that I believe that everyone should play at least once. It still looks good and plays great all these years later. The DLC is definitely worth the money. Next up we have Assassin's Creed Origins. It's an action-adventure game that was developed by Ubisoft and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2017. The Egyptian Assassin's Creed, the game that came out after the year off, and man, what a difference a year makes. This looks outstanding and plays just as well. As per usual, Ubisoft has a pretty good amount of DLC for the game anyway, but there is one thing that really puts this head and shoulders above other games, is the kind of tour of Egypt and Egyptian life. It's just fantastic. Far Cry 5. It's an action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2018. Again Ubisoft, I know, I'm a sucker for those open world Ubisoft games. Again, a good amount of stuff on offer DLC wise, but there's the zombies, B-movie levels that are just so much fun. You and friends can go on a zombie killing rampage with plots and cliches from many zombie and B-movies. A difficulty to match. Kathy and myself have had hours of fun on these levels. Next up we have Alien Isolation, a survival horror game developed by Creative Assembly and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2014. So Alien Isolation is a great game all in itself. Then you add in the DLC. Survival mode is fantastic, scary as hell, but for me it's the two DLCs set in the original movie's universe, especially the ending sequence. If you think about that ending sequence, it is amazing to watch, but even better to play. The tension is high, seeing the alien in every shadow, and once it's on your tail, it's almost certainly game over, man. Dead by Daylight is an online survival horror game developed by Behaviour Interactive and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2017. Now this game has had some great DLC. The killers are always OP when they're first released, but for me the best DLC was the Halloween chapter, being stalked by Michael Myers. The music is used to great effect, with other killers getting their own soundtrack also, but even now it does feel different when being chased by Michael Myers. Always on the lookout for more players of this game. Next up we have Horizon Zero Dawn. It's an action-adventure game developed by Guerrilla Games and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2017. Another great game without even thinking about New Game Plus. but factor in the DLC, took the game to a whole new level. Yellowstone Park just looks awesome. The gameplay is all the same, but the location and robots are just as cool as ever to look at, better to explore, and whilst I was always hopeful of more content, all will be forgiven with an announcement of the second game on PlayStation 5. No Man's Sky is a space exploration game developed by Hello Games and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2016. They made so many bold claims. The developers shot for the stars. Unfortunately, when the game released, it only felt like the bare framework. Now, some developers would have gave up. However, I would say in 2020, I think the game is almost exactly what they promised. Multiplayer, VR and a universe for you to explore. Back at the beginning, I would never have seen that being possible. Fallout 4 is an action-adventure RPG developed by Bethesda and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2015. So after Mad Max, I was looking for something else, and this became that something else. And whilst I will admit I liked the game, the Season Pass and DLC was quite something else. Whether it's Nuka World, Far Arbor or Contraptions Workshop, there is a lot of DLC that added to the game overall, and some stuff that added hours of storyline. How they got this so right on Fallout 76 quite so wrong at the beginning, I will never understand. Mafia 3 is an action adventure game developed by Hangar 13 and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2016. I love this game, and this game was enhanced greatly by the DLC. The DLC that stuck out to me was the Vietnam DLC, Stones Unturned and Faster Baby DLC. Some great characterisation that really adds to the overall game, including your own cannabis operation in-game. With the newly announced Mafia 2 remake, I hope the DLC comes with it, but for now I'm getting some more use out of the DLC for Mafia 3. Dying Light is a zombie apocalypse game developed by Techland and released for the PlayStation 4 in 2015. This game pretty much killed off the prospect of Dead Island 2. With every subsequent DLC added, it seemed to push that sequel further and further away, adding in new maps, vehicles and even zombie mode to the game. There is much to keep you coming back for more. There is a sequel in the works to Dying Light, but in the meantime we have a great game with great tension, gore and generally just fun as hell to play, and I for one put this on every now and again to just mess about. And it's done. I hope you all enjoyed this top 10. There is plenty more content like this on my channel. Check it out, and if you would, spread the word. Leave any suggestions down below in the comments. Enjoy your day one and all. This has been Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.